Good morning. This is Miss Morphew. And it is day 4. We're doing personal experience stories today for 061. Okay, we'll be back. Anybody need a bottle of water, particularly since we're speaking today? I noticed they have some left over. And did you get, and if you did not go out here and grab it, did you get one of those really cool red bags? It's packed, not only, go get it, they had that event yesterday. And there's a bottle of water, there's those red bags, and they're packed with Rome State memorabilia, goodies, fun stuff. It's good, Jimmy. It's really good. The little red bags. Isn't that fun? And it's pink. There's cool socks in there. I would like buy a pair of those socks, but it gets spent with student engagement money. So I have to wait until all the students have gotten theirs, and I can tell Jennifer, here, I'll give you $5 for the socks. Jennifer Fugate runs all of our student engagement things. Okay. Everybody sign in? Yeah, okay, just one left. So you see these odd chairs, you can't sit by your friend. I have those turned around that way for a reason. In order for a speaker to be able to take off their mask if they choose during speaking, I can't have you. All right, can you guys make comfy over there? You can sort of be together. We're right back there. Was your seat backwards? Yeah, the whole point is to keep you 12 feet at least, maybe 15 even, from the speaker. I've heard CDC things, right? The Center for Disease Control suggest that even with a mask, when you're singing or public speaking, that you can project, I don't know, all your bad molecules, 12 feet. So the distance is usually 6 feet of social distancing when you've got masks on, but the 12 feet to 15, and then one other place I heard, no, it's 15 feet. If you're singing or if you are a loud person like Morphew projecting that all that air out. I want you to be able to be understood. And for some people that have, I can't believe I got my mask on. For some people, that means taking the mask off, being able to project, and letting the little Zoom camera back there hear you. Don't worry about that. Nobody's going to see that. I do that for me. The only reason I send them, remember when we did that video lecture the other day? I did one on Monday that I actually made into a YouTube video so that I could chop it up in smaller pieces for my online classes. And it had my face in it, but not yours. I think all of you, maybe one person still needs to upload a media release form, but I didn't capture it. Let's talk about today. We're going to start with turning this on. And if you choose to use anything at the computer station to get a Google image and put it up, or to play something, that's up to you. We'll work with you. On day 4, we are doing our PES. And just because it's like good, supposedly good research-based practice, I think what we're going to do on the board, or some people write the essential question or the essential topic. So you signed in and you picked up a rubric, that 2-sided, scary-looking thing that has 4 columns, and all you need to pay attention to is the column that says exemplary. That's the stuff we're looking for. So if you, I didn't bring my highlighters, but if you take a little pen or a pencil, do you see how some of the words that are, it's actually in red if you look on it in our momentum, but can you see how some of the words are a slightly different color? What kinds of things am I looking to find about what's first? Content? The content that's first? Yeah, let me. Delivery. Delivery is first. Yeah, and that one, come to the page of that. Right, okay. So this one is going to be a lot about delivery. Go ahead, Kelsey, and tell me what are the things I'm looking for about delivery.
Always speaks loudly, slowly, and clearly. Is easily understood by all audience members all the time. Modulates voice, pauses, pitch, volume, for character and/or effect. Consistent, compelling voices. The story is told slowly where the storyteller wants to create suspense, and told quickly when there is a lot of action.
All right, so the bottom line is there's a few key words that look maybe a little bigger in color. Underline those things if you need to remember, hey, this is what Morphe is looking for, and she's going to test me on. Everything to do with voice. Okay, what's the next? Is it delivery again?
It's delivery and visual content.
Okay, so I should have, by the way, I should put visual content actually with content, but on my first of my babies, I put it there. So, how about it, Caitlin? What are the key words we're looking for when they're talking about the other kind of delivery stuff and the visual content?
Use facial expressions and make these characters more relatable and story more easily understood. What that entails the story to members of the audience. May refer to no parts but does not bring the story from the author to the audience. May use creative visuals and extends and enhances the story, increasing audience interest into when they look and pause for.
Yeah, by the way, there's this great Will Rogers quote. He is some cowboy philosopher, actor from a long, long time ago, but he had all kinds of cool sayings. And one of his sayings is never miss a good opportunity to shut up. When you get to the very end, plant your feet. You know him? Yeah. All right. You plant your feet, you shut your mouth, and you look at it. It is one of those subtle clues. Watch other speakers that are good. It's one of those subtle clues that says, okay, I'm going to clap for you. All right, and we will. We're going to clap for every speaker because we know that that changes their chemistry and ours to the positive. And it also makes you plant, stop, and look. It makes it so you don't race off because you're like dying. Just kind of trick. Plant and look. All right. You saw that there's a few keywords that are a little bit bigger, a little you can underline, that kind of thing. That's what we're looking for. What's the next bit?
Organization.
Organization. Okay, so that's sort of going to be how it flows, right? Want me to make him do it? You do it.
Intro grabs attention and relates to the story.
I can't hear them. Yell it through that mess.
Okay, intro grabs attention and relates to the story. Retell a story and apparently correct. Sequence leading to the story. Creative, clearly expressed and appropriate transitions by the audience to the story sequence. Strong conclusion may tie to intro story and leave the audience satisfied, maybe making personal connections. There are no loose ends.
Okay. A whole lot of years to say you tell the story good. Right? We're not gonna be left with a lot of, what about that? Or whatever. Now, when I lecture, I had a student hear my lecture that you heard the other day. Right? Had a student yesterday tell me, you remind me of my cousins. I said, how is that? He said, you're all over the place. You do, and I was not offended. I like to hear feedback because I do incorporate stuff here and there. I'll start on one topic and then bring you onto a reminder. Take you down the rabbit hole a few times, right? And then back. When you only have a 3 to 4 minute speech, if that's your natural way of speaking, go ahead, but you might get marked down a little bit in organization. I think you're gonna find that everybody's gonna do absolutely fine. All right, but we're getting introduced to the components of group presentations. And whatever feedback you get, you're going to be able to maybe build on that. Okay, is that everything on organization? Okay, is there another one? Content, what is it?
May include an easy to understand, logical problem, solution sequence, rich vocabulary and description enhance the telling. Many characters are named and clearly described through words and or actions.
Okay, when we want to know about characters, whether it's in our speech or in some story that we're telling, or in a story that's in our speech, if we have characters in there, we can learn about characters in different ways. From what they say, from a description about them, if the story's going on, how other characters interact. This is all kind of stuff you learn in English class, right? Character setting, plot. Meanwhile, just today, we're telling personal experience stories. We'll just enjoy hearing everybody's experience. But if you get marked down on anything, you'll know areas you can improve. Okay? Okay. Okay, Caitlin, how about the lab? Is there anything else? Is it just a report? Yeah. Every time we do a speech, just like we did on narrative bio, I have a timer. Is there somebody who will be our timer today? You should be timer like at least once, if you can. Okay, Caitlin, you're gonna do it? And I'm gonna write down your name. This is 061 for PES. And today is the 28th. Okay, it's 5 points for you. At the end of the term, I'll ask you to email all your bonus points to me in a certain way, and that way you practice communicating clearly in an email. So I layer this stuff on. Next, the following people had a momentum picture. Is there anybody that has a picture on their nameplate? Can I have your nameplates up, guys? Is there anybody that put a picture on their nameplate? It's all right. Okay, so.
I never go to that place.
Again,
I never go to that place. I came in the first day.
yeah, you didn't grab one?
Yeah.
Okay, got a bunch in my office. I mean, I got a bunch of this paper in my office. Come on by and after class, let's go get me one. All right, Caitlin Tabor, you get 5 bonus because you put your picture on momentum. And now, when you have emails come at you, if there are other Caitlin Tabors, we'll be able to distinguish which one it is without having to figure out your 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Chloe, here you go for your picture and your profile. Luke, picture in your profile. And anybody that doesn't have it, you know, it's good, but it's like not the end of the world. Feel free to read my directions for how to put that on. Kelsey, here you go. Megan, here you are. You're welcome. And Miss Bailey, who hasn't shown up yet, maybe she thinks she's in a different portion. Now, I didn't see, as of this morning, the rest of it. Is that right? Okay. But feel free, and we'll always help you do that. Okay. You're supposed to be where you had worked earlier, I promise. I checked it out. There you go. I don't think it's gonna be bad. Why? It doesn't like this TV. How's that? All right, now how about it? Good? Yeah. Something with Zoom was on here. So is there anybody that needs any help in terms of Dropbox or how to upload or putting a profile picture or doing Dropbox tests? Okay, yeah, cool. Can you hang a little later, Jim? I'll help you. I will go get his name, his paper, then we'll sit in my comfortable office and we'll do whatever you need to do. All right. I got your bonus points. One of the things I said about the closed notes was that KTAV, kinesthetic, tactile, audio, visual, right? There's different ways we like to learn. When your people get up to speak, today, I just don't anticipate everybody's going to have a vision. But you might. I don't know if you're bringing in realia, real stuff, or if you're going to go get a Google image to put up. Or one woman showed her Facebook album when she did her personal experience story. And it was pretty intense because she had flipped and broken her ankle or leg or something. And then she got these pins and rods and she was taking us through it, telling us this story. If you don't have it, don't worry, but think about your audience in terms of getting the message across in ways that will reach all their preferences. If you don't do one today, think about it for the future. We're about to give feedback to each other. I write on the feedback on the rubric, and I will, well, somebody pass those to everybody. Everybody just gets one. We give and we get feedback for a reason. And we learn how to give it really specifically too. Every time you speak, you're going to get better. Because you're going to, if you reflect on it, you feel, okay, I did this bad, I did this good. Oh man, I wish I'd said this. If you reflect on it, you have the chance to improve. If you get evaluated like our rubric, or like your peers are going to do for you, and you read that evaluation, maybe you reflect on it a little bit. That's not right. That's right. Oh, that makes me feel this way. If you really reflect on it, you're going to improve. Finally, when you evaluate your peers, and you begin to learn what to look for in an effective speaker, and to comment on the things that you found specifically helpful, or that they need a little help, give them an idea. If you are kind, specific, and helpful, then in your feedback, then you're not going to begin to recognize that stuff even more in all the speakers that you see. And you're going to be getting that feedback from your peers. So you can read and reflect. And you know what today's rubric, or excuse me, peer feedback looks like. I want you to get a Post-it for every speaker. So, do we have someone who's going to be bold and going to go first for us? Get it over with. Do I need to eat any money mode? Eating any money mode, that's how your body's going to move $50, make them pay $50. Big. Caitlin, you're gonna go first. She's like, oh man, I should buy a lottery ticket today. Okay, it's Tabor. So on this little post-it, you're gonna write Caitlin Tabor. The title of her story, if you have space, go for it. Your name, the speaker, and your name, you're the peer evaluator. And then OCD. Our rubrics grade organization, content, and delivery. In one flow and by this time, you give them a number. Oh, it flowed so well, and I thought you just totally guided me to give an organization. But content was a little weak. I loved a lot of the things that Trump did, but he was a little weak on some of his content of his speeches, let's be real, right? And so he'd be a little lower on content. Delivery, all those things you see and you hear that seem to make the storytelling really effective. And for our purposes, even though Morphew screwed up on the rubric, let's put visuals and words in content. Okay. Finally, did this thing sound like a story to you? You put yes or no. Got it? And if you want, and you have any other space, you can write it on the back if you like. You can give kind, helpful, specific comment. Oh, everybody used to read that to me. You know, whatever you want to say, you give them an extra comment. You're going to give one of those to every single peer. Oh, I don't have date on there. Did I not have date on there? Oh, I did. Where is it?
It's
Right here. Yeah. Can you follow that? You might want to take one post it and like get it all set up properly, and then you can just use it as your template for each of the other ones. The big paper is, you don't have to write on. I just wanted to give a bigger version of what we're doing on the post-its. So everybody go grab at least one post-it, or you can grab one for every speaker we've got in here. What questions do you have?
There's the post-its.
Where are they? Green button.
So,
There's a post-it, there's a bucket, anybody know the song? No, there's a hole in the bucket. Is the name of it. You didn't go to summer camp a lot, huh? I already got the timer, we're good on that. Remember, this is a safe place to learn how to use the technology, so I'll leave this up here if you wanna do anything. That's gonna go there. Got my coffee back there. Everybody's got the rubric filled out on the top. What's on the rubric? You need to write name, date, title of the story. Yeah, for your rubric. Title of the story. What else? On your rubric, on the big guy, on the dollar print. This one. Yeah. Name, date, section. What section are you? 061? Okay. And give the story a title. What's the rubric?
I'm supposed to order it.
And if you think, my friend said this, and I said this, and. Fill one in, think of one, fill that in. Oh, good, good. Don't forget the date section. change the environment. If it feels like you're too much in a firing squad, you might want to move that left and right, you change the environment to get the job done. In that other cool classroom with the chairs, I think I told you this, we had one guy who rode his little chair to the front of the room and said, "Gather around, children, come to the fire." And that's how he started it. And we all came around in mass, of course, this was pre-COVID. And we were all gathered around in our funny little chairs. You know, you change the environment to get the job done. Okay. Timer. This time, don't give them any clues. You just time and then tell me the time at the end of it. Oh, it's her. So somebody else needs to time? Okay, somebody else needs to time. Your friends gotcha. Your twins gotcha.
It's like, you fire out me first.
Okay, I need your rubric. And if you could be loud enough that this thing can hear you back here, that would be awesome. Were you an athlete in high school? What does that mean?
I play volleyball.
Did you know Roan State has a volleyball team?
Yeah.
Are you on it? Oh, I'm gonna go one night and be a game administrator because I haven't seen their volleyball games.
Yeah. I have a friend that plays on their team.
Okay, remember how loud you just were?
Yeah.
That's how loud I want you to be when you just did that.
And I pulled down my mask and
You can, because you are appropriately distanced to do so.
so the title of my story is Broken Collarbone.
Oh,
As a child, I loved playing. It was my favorite game to play. Well, me and my mom and my sister went to a birthday party with my friend. We were playing tag. I don't know how many of you have ever been to take part here and how many times. Okay. So we go up, we're playing tag, we're on the jump gym, and my sister's sitting on the side, and here comes the tagger. And I'm like, go, go, go. And she's like, no, he's not gonna tag us, he's not gonna tag us. And I'm like, go, he's out to get me, you're gonna get me tagged. And so I push her.
oh,
There she goes, rolling down the spiral metal slide. And she gets to the bottom, and here comes the tagger, he's coming to get me, and I go down behind her. And I land on her. And I just hear her crying. I was like, get up, you're fine, get up, you're fine. But she takes off, runs to the bathroom, and I'm like, you have to go check on her. So I go in there, and I was probably like, I'll say I was in the third grade when I did this. And I was like, I hear her crying, I was like, Jess, are you okay? You did this? And she's like, no, my arm hurts, my arm hurts. And I was like, okay, I will get mom. So I get mom. And keep in mind, before this, we were supposed to go pick up my grandma from Minnesota. This is the first time she's been in like 7 years.
oh,
Yeah, so my mom took my sister to the doctor to go get her arm checked, and I went with my aunt to go pick up my grandma. We get up at my grandma's house, and my sister walks in with this giant brace that's holding her shoulders back like this, and she can only walk like this. Mom goes, you broke your sister's collarbone. I was like, you do that? She goes, this bone right here? Yeah, it's I guess when she went down the slide, it wasn't good at all. Yeah. So he was in that for at least 12 weeks. Yeah, she did not sleep for 12 weeks because she had to sleep on her back. She can't sleep on her back. So
And the time on that? Okay. Please bring Caitlin her Post-it. And I'll do it. Here, too. Great job. What a great way to begin. Not for your sister, but. Okay, so how should you say on organization? One word. Move through. Content. Same. Same. Like that, and then one six. Okay, title. Okay, and is it sound like a story to you? Did it sound like a story? Okay, sounds like that. Cool. I know, I sometimes I write too much, like on that handout. Just keep it simple. It's all good. All right, so you get to throw somebody into the bus. Either that or you tell me magic finger and I go like this. Cass. Get over it. Kathy. Sorry, girl. It's Megan. Oh, Megan's like, you messed up more people. Hey, Kathy. Oh. Does she look a little like the Joker's girl? Who's the guy, the one that runs around with the Joker on Batman? Harley Quinn. Does she look a little bit like that in her face with her makeup? With her mask on? It must be the hair. Yeah. It's the eyeshadow. I love it. Okay.
Anyway, my story is called Why I Wasn't Allowed to Have the Top Bunk.
Have a what?
The top bunk.
Oh.
Do I wait on everybody?
You do whatever you want.
Okay, that's what I'll wait on.
Perfect.
Okay. Okay. So when I was 6 years old, me and my sister and my dad moved into my grandparents' house. And me and my sister had to share a room. And growing up, I always wanted to be just like her. I wanted to do everything she did. And of course, she got the top bunk because I was very accident prone as a kid, which I'm sure a lot of us. And one day she had her friends over, and she had her friends were all on the top bunk, and I watched them jump off the top bunk. And for the rest of the day, I was just mesmerized by them.
Oh.
So, being me, my grandma was in the room with me, and she was wiping off the dresser, and I climbed to the top bunk and decided to just go for it and jump off. And then I landed like this. And I went to my dad, and I told him that my arm was hurting. And he told me I was going to be fine. And he was like, here, just go to bed, sleep it off. So I did, and then I woke up, and my arm was like in excruciating pain right here and right here. And so I told my sister, and she looked at it and threw up.
Oh.
And then I went to my dad, and he took me to the hospital. And long story short, because I wanted to be just like my sister growing up, I ended up breaking my shoulder and my elbow. And then I forgot what it's called. There's a part right here that I tore. That's why I'm not allowed to have the top bunk in my house.
Any time on that? And everybody, go ahead and hand over your kind, specific help. Well, did I have you write your name on that so she knows who it came from? Let's do that. There's actually a reason for it, man, because some people in their final paper, final written self-evaluation, it's a 1 to 2 page paper, it's the last thing you do. Some people like to quote what certain peers have said, or some people like to hand a statistic like 6 out of 7 said, I need to do this. You know what I'm saying? Here you go, girl. Sorry. Perfect. Next. Who's it gonna be, Cass? Luke. I thought I heard you say, just do the pen thing, right? The thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, talk a little much, is the unexpected cat,
I need your rubric.
my rubric,
So tell us again, what's the name of it?
the unexpected cat.
Cat, C-A-T, cool. The unexpected cat. Now you gotta yell at the deaf teacher in the back of the room, okay?
This one?
No,
Yeah, I
that one.
thought so.
Perfect. And you are in section 061. It's all good.
So a little over a year ago, I had this little kitten show up once. But actually, it didn't show up next to my house. But my neighbor, like, I have 2 houses, a house on each side. Both of them are in like a regular zone. And one of them is like a little hole that like sometimes there's like raccoons and there's cats, there's like and then one day there's this little kitten that showed up. I seen it over there. I was like, looking at me. Like, it was like, you could have been like 2, 3 weeks old at max. I'll put it. And so I started setting out food for it because obviously nobody was taking care of this cat. And I've never been a cat person. I've always not liked cats. I've always had a dog until about 3 years ago. He was like, my dog was literally as old as I was. And then it died of old age. I feel like I'm sure it was old age because he was like 15. But yeah, before that, I've always not liked cats because my dog hated like cats, obviously. But so I started putting food out, and one day I noticed the cat was getting a little more used to me. So I decided I was going to set crisscross in my yard in the install with some food, and I just like held it out my head for like 5 minutes or so, and I just sat there. And finally, this cat just kept looking at me, and it slowly came over to me and took the food out of my hand. And then it took it a while, but it finally got like used to me because I'm sure I'm the only human that has ever seen here, like someone tried to socialize with this little cat. So then after that, it pretty much became my cat. I've kept it outside for like most of the year because mom and dad wouldn't let me have it inside my house. And then about like 2 to 3 months ago, started like letting it in my room some. And then my dad was like, he didn't like the cat like, being in the house, but finally he started like breaking through. You know, he likes the cat too. And it's like, he finally likes the cat, I guess we go back in the house. She also, along this journey, she had kittens that she took, we were trying to take care of outside. She took these kittens and took them up my neighbor's roof into a hole in the roof. And like, they put them up there. We couldn't get them, tried to raise them up there for like few weeks, and so they all started coming out little holes, there's little kids on the roof of their house. But that is the story of my unexpected cat.
Okay, guys, do what you need. Thanks. All right, Mr. Luke, here you go. Good job. Who's next? You want me to just pick them,
Oh, yes.
or you want to? Kelsey, did you already go? No. There you go. Thank you.
All right, I did have visuals, but can I just do it on my laptop? And just turn it
Actually,
around?
Well, it's not gonna be as effective as like sticking it up here.
Okay, I don't know how to do it. Could you show me?
Yeah, is it, how do you have it right now?
On Google, like the presentation.
If you sign out of my PowerPoint and you sign into your Google, you will be able to find it. How's that sound?
That's good.
Cool. Anybody else got any visual? Cool, Jake. Why don't you go after she goes? Is that cool? You be next? Cool. Yeah, this is a great place to try this stuff out because all it can do is do good stuff for you, other than the timing thing. But we can help you with that. And if you notice, time is usually, in this case, did you read all the little fine print at the back of the rubric? It says, note, delivery is worth more points than the other areas. Practice changing voice, body, face, and using visuals well. And then it says, blah, 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 with 5 things being measured, 5 components, and then 4 boxes across. Each of these boxes is worth 5 points. So if I get like a circle, I circle something and it's about halfway, you might get 3 points on something. So, I mean, the worst thing it'll do is take off 5 points if you went over time, right? Or if you really went over time, 10 points.
Do I need to sign into the email or what?
How do you usually sign into Google? Well, that's interesting. Can you help them?
Yeah.
Cool, man. Another thing I love about teaching this class is you guys support each other so well. I have students help each other with tech, teach them new things. Your notes are often, people say, so encouraging. the,
mirroring, so I can talk about password.
yes. Show her Windows P. You know what the Windows thing looks like with the 4 little squares on it, on the keyboard? Okay, press that and press P. And it should give you the thing to, not show the mirror, not duplicate. Let me get a Windows thing. Yeah. Okay, see this little Windows icon on the keyboard next to the phone, okay? And then P, and it should come up, yeah, to PC screen only. Did you guys see it pop up over there on the left? So if you press the Windows plus the P, it puts it to letting her say, okay, don't show it up there. When you're ready, Windows P, duplicate brings it back up. All right, see, you learn new things. And we're good, because how many minutes do we have left? It's 12:15, so we got, you know, a lot of time, 35 minutes left. So we're good. If you notice on your course outline, we actually, I believe I put TBD PES on day 5 or day 6. In my classes that tend to have more people, they may go on and have more than one day of certain speeches. And that's okay too. We flex. TBD means to be determined. And we chill out, we flex, and we gain skills. Jake, you can check out what she's doing, see if she needs any help, okay? Whatever you did got her where she was
I
going.
literally just got to sign in.
You literally took what?
I just got to sign in. I'm like,
Well, go watch what she's doing. You may need to know it for you. You need a code,
Yeah,
like your password?
yeah.
Okay. Y'all are laid back enough to just relax on doing this, right? Yeah? Cool.
No, it's so complicated.
It's only complicated the first few times you figure it out.
I shouldn't be surprised,
Why?
because technology is complicated.
Oh, it's supposed to be making our lives easier,
Yeah.
isn't it? This is where we should play music. Did you notice Kelsey Guy's name writing over there on her nameplate? I'm so impressed. It's like so neat.
And then what do you do to hit the,
Okay, the windows, it's, and P.
okay,
And then the bar should come up on the left, on the right. And yeah, you did duplicate. Yay.
so, how on, it, can the remote up there change it? Or I can just,
I don't know. Try the remote. You want him to stand up there and like press the space bar for you or something?
Yeah.
Okay, try the remote first, and then if not, just point to him. You know, you as speaker are in control of the environment. If you need to move something or order somebody about, you feel free.
yeah, that's what I.
Okay, so there you go. Now, will hitting the space bar do it? You want to try it out one time before we start the time? Okay. And then back. Will that work? Will that work? I love it.
You're right. Just an experience story. tell you all about this time my sister and I almost died. And I wish I could say that I doing something heroic or surviving a miraculous disease, but it really wasn't, and it was actually quite the opposite of that. I actually think I could sum it up in just 4 words, and that's childish stupidity, and which is there. So let me explain a little bit before I continue. I grew up on a farm for most of my childhood. I was comfortable being around cattle, driving tractors, or, just being out in the woods and being in the fields all day. But really, I found out with my sister that I was a little too comfortable with those things. So we were playing in the woods or in the field like we usually do, and we assumed that the cows had been moved to the other field like they normally are on that certain day. But after several minutes of running around and playing like we were, we found out that the cows had not been moved and they were actually at the top of the hill, the very field we were in. Now, we were supposed to go back outside the fence when we saw cows in the field that we were in, but no, of course we didn't, like the stupid kids that we were. We went towards them. We saw one cow in particular that really just caught our attention. It had a giant tooth at the front of its jaw. It was hideous. And it had slobber coming out of its mouth and drool just pouring from its nose. It was the ugliest cow I've seen in my entire life. And so my sister gave her the very creative name, Slobber Fang, of all things. And so 7-year-old me at the time found this absolutely hilarious. And so we just decided to spend a good amount of time pointing and laughing at the creature. But apparently, the kids weren't very much, and before I know it, I was reared up and had made a move that was mortifying. My sister didn't see this while she was still laughing, but I had already started running back to the fence line like the great big sister I was, and told her to run too. And when she did, as I looked back, I saw the entire herd of cattle running behind her. And I have never run so fast in my life, let me tell you. I was so terrified. And as I was running and running and running and hearing these cattle getting closer and closer to us, like this, like I was flying, but I actually looked more like, yeah, I imagined we weren't running that fast, and I really don't know how this fast it was. But we managed to survive, and you can be like my mom and not believe this story because you did not see it, or maybe you will, that's up to you. But that's how I survived an entire hurricane. Thank you. Closing camera was sorry, I forgot to say that.
And Jake, I'll get your rubric whenever you're ready. You had cue cards,
Yes, ma'am.
and you did not read them.
Yeah, I didn't know what you were.
Those 3 little pictures made such a difference, didn't they? That was so great.
It was a close encounter with God.
You know what? I realized that when you stood up. We need to move the Morphew nameplate and hang your nameplates up when you speak. That would be like just smart. Look at that.
Okay, when you see the product,
Oh, yes, please. Yes, thank you. Yeah, once you guys figure out the system, I figured you'll know what to do. Thank you so much. So are you getting some specifics from your peers? Are you getting some notes, people who've gotten peer feedback already? Are you getting something that doesn't just say great job, but maybe gives you something that's specific?
Alright. My story is never bring your phone in a canoe.
Oh,
So, I mean, imagine this. The setting is beautiful. It's a nice crisp green outside. Everything's good. The sun's shining. It's the middle of summer. I love the outdoors personally, so does my mom. But the person that was in the canoe with me was none other than my brother, who does not boat like I do, and for God knows why, does not know how to canoe. So I'm wearing my cargo shorts, and I got flips on that. On those, this thing's in the truck. Caught water as well. So we're going down the river, and I get stuck with him because my mom's in the kayak. We're sitting there just paddling along, just smiling good, going past branches, everything's going great. We haven't sunk yet. But being him, he's like, hey, let's do something awesome. Okay, what's that? So let's get out of the boat real quick and jump back in. Now get this, I'm about 40 pounds heavier than he is, and I'm in the back. So when he gets out, it's pretty well leaning under the water. So he gets out, jumps around in the grass and stuff, and I'm sitting there waiting for him. And he finally comes back. I'm about sunk and I'm nearly in the water. He jumps back in, thank God, everything's okay. Yeah, we all paddle him back home. And this is the same spot you're playing in Cumberland County State Park. There's a big log over the river where you can't pass in anything. So we get to that. He has another wonderful idea. So I'm wearing cargo shorts and I have my iPhone, or he had his iPhone in my pocket as well as my flip phone. So our mom catches up with us, we're sitting here, he jumps on the log. Same scenario, the boat's sinking a little bit. It's fine, we did it before. He gets on the log. And next thing I know, he's trying to jump back in, kicks the top of it. And I'm thinking like the Titanic. It's going straight down, phone's in, first thing, I'm sitting here just clawing away trying to get the grass. I sit there getting on top of land, and he's said, there's like, what's the boat doing? What's the boat in the water? I was like, well, I'm the one who kicked it. So we get a little, escalation going on. The boat's sitting there just dropping in the water. So we finally get the boat out of the water. The phones are drenched. We'll go all the way to the end of it. For the next 2 minutes. Unfortunately, I get blamed for it, of course, because I was the one that was in the canoe. So, but to make matters worse, I had the boat phone in my cargo pocket. So, word of the laws, never bring your phone in a canoe with someone else inside. I learned that the hard way. $250 later, I had to buy it. I'm still waiting to switch back to the flip. Bring your phone in the canoe. Kayak maybe, but never.
Thank you. Thanks. All right, Cassie, you ready? Did I call you wrong again?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Cassie, say I make a girl. I always call you I make a girl. Cassie, Cassie, Cassie. Okay, Megan. Have I told you the story about having to have these little sixth grade girls that I constantly got mixed up? Actually, I said to them, if I call you wrong again, come up and hit me on the arm and tell me my name is so-and-so. And I said, I think I need a TPR, total physical response. And I started calling them right. You just get hit a few times.
So the title of my story is The Time I Went Ghost Hunting. And a couple of time and myself used to be obsessed with ghost hunting. The ghost adventures on TV, all that stuff. We used to go to cemeteries all the time. Crazy. This particular time, my friend Bobby had found an old abandoned house to go to. So we went. First clue we got there, it said no trespassing. And we've learned, when it says no trespassing, don't go in there. We
Oh,
learned the hard way.
oh,
We went in the house, we jumped the fence, went in the house. We just going right along, going through each room in the house, pretty dark, so we had our phones out and our flashlights. Next thing we know, we see headlights through the window. So we freak out, start running out the back door. We kind of hide around the shed. I heard something behind me. I wasn't sure. So we just struck along outside and we finally jumped the fence and we left. We got out of there quick. The next day, Bobby called me and apparently the owners of the house had gotten his license plate number and got his name, his mom's name and everything, and then called him. And come to find out, this man was behind us. He had guns to our head and everything because he thought we were vandalizing the house. Because I guess previous people had done that before. So, yeah, it wasn't pleasant. He threatened to call the law and everything else. It was pretty scary.
but no ghosts.
No.
I remember, I'm sorry. I think you can go ahead and call these out, but we won't do it today because we haven't done it for anybody else. When we get to our other speeches, that timer just calls that thing out. I write down the time. There's no judgment. We just write it down. But I like it. You started this way, so we'll do it this way. Here you are, Miss Megan. Good job. You mean you're afraid. That was awesome. Now Miss Chloe, and then Sammy.
It's one more story called Life Day Gone Wrong. I was probably 9 or 10 years old at the time, and it was July. It was really close to the 4th of July. My family, we are lake people. We all parts of my family, my aunt, my uncle, my grandparents, we all have boats. But we usually go out on my family's boat because it's a pontoon boat and it's bigger and it holds all of us. So it was probably 90, 95 degrees that day. So we all called each other up and we planned a big lake trip. I'm talking everybody, grandma, grandpa, both aunts, both uncles, all of our cousins. So me and my dad, we go and we are backing the boat out of our shed. And he's letting little 10-year-old me steer. And he's working the pedals. And I go to the side a little bit too much, and I hit the side of the boat, and the ladder just falls right off. But, you know, the ladder that's on the side of the boat that when you jump in the lake and you're swimming around, you use to climb back up on, get back up on the boat. You know, we didn't think, oh, it's not a big deal. We're gonna be tubing, we can just step on a propeller and get back up, pull ourselves up. No big deal. Well, it's a big deal for one of my family members, my Uncle Dave. Uncle Dave, he's probably 5'10", 5'11", between 5 and 550 pounds, 500 and 550 pounds. He's a big guy. He cannot bend his knees to sit down, he just has to fall back and he sits down. I love Uncle Dave, but he makes fun of himself, so he probably wouldn't mind me telling this story. Very funny story. So we get to the lake, we're driving around with the boat, we're all on tubes, me and my 6 cousins. We're ripping our tubes, and then we decide now we're just gonna swim around for a little bit, so we're swimming around, dumping each other, playing, squirting each other with our little water guns. It gets later in the day, and we decide, getting colder, it's probably about time to go back and go eat or something. You know, we're all flying up on the boat, stepping on the propeller, we're just pulling ourselves up and helping each other up. And Uncle Dave swims to the side, and he's yelling, "Where's the ladder? Where is it?" So Uncle Dave cannot bend his legs to pull himself up on the boat. He's stuck. He cannot get back up on the boat. So my dad and my Aunt Susie, who is Uncle Dave, they come up with this bright idea. We're gonna tow Uncle Dave back in the shore. We've already deflated all of our tubes for the day to put them back in under our seats in the storage compartment. We toss him a rope. He is not happy about this idea. He is fussing and cussing all of us up one side and down the other. We're towing him in on a big oak tube, and we can't get him all the way back in, so he has to swim for a little bit. And he's really, really not happy about this. So he gets up, finally walking out of the water, Uncle Dave falls down. He looks like a big old beached whale, just landing. And it takes my other Uncle Randy, my aunt, my dad, and my mom to get Uncle Dave back up. So we got, he marches his baby up to the car, he just sits there. He's had it with all of us, and we're all sitting there. So we finally say our goodbyes and everything, then we go our separate ways and go eat. And this story is still a family favorite, gets told every Thanksgiving, every Christmas, every chance we get to tell it. Hey, us and cuss about it every single time we tell this story. Doesn't think any of us should be old enough to remember it, all of our 6 little cousins, but we remember it clear as day. Very, very good day.
And God. I gave you 30 cents, 50 cents. Woo-hoo. All right, Mr. Sammy, you ready? All right. What's the title of the story so I can write it here?
Bad luck with the Jeep.
All right. Just to give me a minute.
Well, a few years ago, my sister wanted to leave Tennessee, and to convince her to stay in my dad dropped $8,000 on the '97 Jeep Wrangler. All kitted out, has nice chrome bumpers, off-road tires, and you think it would be set for snow. Well, not really. So this was when I was back home in middle school, and my sister lived at home. And it was a snowy day, and school was closed, but we had to go to, I think, I don't remember the name of the exact, but it was all the way like Cumberland now. And so we took the Jeep since the road trip. We got to Lantana, and my sister was like, I'm gonna take it out four-wheel drive, we don't need it. We got maybe 30 seconds down the road. We did a patch of ice. And our choices were to either slide into the ditch or a tree root or hit a stop sign, so that's what we did. So we were just doing 360s, hit a stop sign and got it wedged underneath. Broke a piece of the finger off, caused a dent in the foot. And yeah. But we were just sitting there, my sister was angry, cussing that her Jeep was damaged, and there was a stop sign under it. No, just don't take it out of four-wheel drive in the snow.
And man, he said time on that. All right, I got 10 minutes. Let me just do this real fast and you get all your Post-its put over where they need to be.
The activity that we did not get to do about who are we as an audience has been answered a little bit by some of the stories that you shared already. Rather than ask you to do the activity in full, where I turn these things over and you put Post-its all over the board and we group them and then you guys summarize it. Give me a little status update. How many of you say are single? How many of you have a boyfriend or girlfriend? How many of you are married? Okay, how many of you are saying, no way in heck? How about your current jobs or job inside besides going to school?
I work at Express Lunch on
Where?
Express Lunch on
Express Lunch, I love that place, that guy smiles all the time and knows my name.
What did you ask? What did you ask?
Job,
Oh,
side hacks, anything,
work at Hardee's and I hope my better do
parties and what?
evening. Okay, HVAC.
HVAC, cool. Cracker Barrel, I knew that.
Save all.
All right. That's good, doing the school thing.
I helped like, since I was a sophomore, I helped this old lady do stuff around my house and like planter flowers, help her like craft Christmas presents, decorate her house.
You're an administrative assistant.
Yeah.
You're an executive assistant.
Okay.
Circle K. Night shift sometime.
That's not landscaping. That's not landscaping.
Landscaping? Cool. All right. So you guys are getting to know a little bit more about your people, that whom you'll be crafting these messages. An organization you belong to. I belong to OWCA, and that's the Watershed Association. I'm like on the board. And the Care Center in Crab Orchard and the Ecology Club here. How about you? Don't have time for that stuff. Dave, in any organization?
Yeah, the Tennessee Fur Harvesters and the
Say that again. Hold the bow of that like that and say it.
Tennessee Fur Harvesters and the
Very cool. And aren't you going to, you do FFA? So by the way, you and you, if you're interested in Skills USA, Rome State has an organization. I'd love to talk to you about that. No time for that. I understand.
I'm a member of the DAR.
DAR, the Daughters of the American Revolution?
Yes, my grandma was a state regent, so it's kind of forced, but it's kind of.
What were you? You're way too playing.
Ooh, I always wanted to play violin. I took lessons when I was in third grade. I also took lessons in piano and guitar and everything else, and I still can't play. But, but that's so cool. Like, weren't you like real good at it? Awesome.
I wasn't.
Um, yeah. I know some of my middle college students are very into it, and they do some orchestra, but they're doing virtual stuff. Not quite the same. I asked everybody else, you know, what's your gender, what's your age? They put it on their Post-it, and they put it up here, and they determined, well, we had, in the other class, we have more males than we have females in the class. You guys are the, and then they also looked at age and things like that. Knowing the demographics and some of the other papers I have there are your values, something you value. And they'd say friendship or family or different things like that. Knowing the psychographics and demographics, as we discussed in our lectures, always cool, because then, oh, and there's the cover page. It's like, will help you figure out how you could reach that. I think you guys are gonna be absolutely fine, because everybody did well today. Everybody did well and they survived. Some of you noticed on your rubric that I wrote notes. One of the things I write down are the transitional words that I hear. And if I write and, then, so, it happens to, for a lot of people. I just want to make you consciously aware of what I observe. You have the notes from your peers, and some people take them and put them on their rubric to keep them all together. It's up to you how you do it. If you look at your rubric scores and comments, and you look at your peer comments, and you reflect on that, there is a little homework assignment for day 4 that says, when you finish your PES, you might write about this. You remember you have to do a little reflection journal every day that we have class? Just put the date, a couple of lines about what you're thinking and feeling. Next class session, bring your own devices, your own computers or laptops. I will have the computer part. You can use the Rome State computers. I'll have that with whether we're back there in the hallways all painted or whether we're here. It'll be absolutely fine. I'm going to take you through some side hacks or some hacks in momentum. I'm going to take you through Fast, which many students say, dang, I wish that I had that before I had English. And it helps in other classes. And I'm going to take you through TED Talks. So you want to check that out in advance. You well, my friend. Yes. You have a
Fair question.
Yeah.
Now, what's on in there, Texas tickets to the truck the day 4, that for next time?
So this is day 4,
Yeah,
Right.
it is left.
and the computer lab's on day 5. I don't know where it says something about approximately day 4.
It's in the description.
I think it's in there like that, just in case I added that extra fundamentals like I did this term. Yeah, used to be I had the computers on day 3, but I decided I needed a little extra time on fundamentals. And I'm gonna help you with something techie, and I'm gonna help you with something techie and get you a nameplate, right? Right, man? All right. Come on, I show you, let me just get his real fast, okay? Come on in here. I think that was Cassie and I screwed up and not calling her name wrong. What are we doing, guys? What are we doing? We have in our momentum, you're in your junior, you're doing.
I dropped that box test. Can I still redo that? Or, okay, all right.
Did you read your feedback?
Yes, I did.
Did it say you may resubmit?
I know it didn't. That's why I wanted to ask you about it.
Yeah. What did you have wrong with it? What did I?
Got it like deleted into my name and my pieces.
And that was like, okay,
Yeah, and we're
you're
supposed,
the one.
we're supposed to do all like
Yeah,
the entire essay.
Yeah,
Okay,
very stuff.
okay.
Yeah, it's really quite simple, but the whole point of it is that some students wait for teachers to tell them what to do, and in college, a lot of teachers will not.
Right.
So I put those 7 little directions. Did you do Dropbox test already?
Oh, yeah, I already
Yeah. So it was, you had to, did you follow it pretty good first
I
time?
submitted it twice.
Okay, see, you're not wrong.
I submitted it Thursday. Sort of thinking about, like, wait, should I leave that blue writing on? I read the directions like 50 times. I was like,
Do you have a 0 or a 100? Okay.
Yeah, so I'll do it again.
If it says it, it says it. I'm a hick for grabbing it, and I can do it.
Where Halloween, my mom is the one who for decades handed out popcorn balls.
Yeah.
My dad's Jody Sherrill, my dad was Jody Sherrill at the store there, right?
Yeah.
And my brother's got the computer company there now. Yeah. Right? Mom had 600 people come around every Halloween. And they come around in our circle driveway because my dad, who owned the little local store, and he volunteered as a mayor and firefighter and all that, would talk to the men. They'd get out of their car too, and they'd want to come and get one of Mom's popcorn balls. So the famous popcorn ball, that's my mom.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't know why I'm telling you all that. There was a reason for my story that I got out of the details. Okay, it that.
Thank you, Ms. Morgan. I appreciate it.
Oh, anytime. Kelsey, gosh, thank you for modeling the use of not only technology, you two, but the cue cards and the obvious preparation. The more people see and your ability to feel comfortable there, the more they see those models, the more they may try that stuff. So good on both of you.
I'm gonna go on a limb and see if I can get it.
What'd you do?
Performance procedure, business meeting.
I was gonna ask you, Skills USA. Rhode State got into Skills USA. Do you know what it is?
No.
So it has to do with a lot of technical stuff. If you were in FFA, you know. I want you to go to the Skills, SKILLS, USA page and check it out. You specifically, I'm thinking about, there's speech giving categories. I had a former student who was a firefighter, and like a volunteer firefighter, but he had all this training, and he did firefighting stuff. There are teachers at Rhode State who can be your coach. I'm currently coaching 2 students for communications, and they do job interviews, they do prepared speech, and they do extemporaneous speaking.
Yeah, that's so much fun.
I did.
So you might find it of interest.
And I did.
So check it out. Rhode State, at this point, they had 4 spots for buying students way into the virtual conference this year. It looks good on a resume. Skills USA is kind of a hot topic for looking good on resumes right now. You've seen the memes about kids should go to college or shouldn't have to go to college. They can go get more money this way. You've seen the different things. You need to do this. I'm sorry. Content.
Well, thank you, Ms. Markey, and thank you for talking about that. I will look into that.
Check it out and let me know if you're
Yes,
interested,
ma'am.
because we'll find you a coach.
Yes, thank you. I'll see you next week.
All right. All right, down to presentation technology momentum right here. This one. Momentum tech. And then one of the first ones should be sticking, no. Presentation takes momentum. It's one of the persons I thought was, keep on down. Says profile pic. Maybe it's one of the ones. There it is. That's under, it's in the submodule. It says momentum. Okay? Actually, I've never taken a picture on, I guess you could totally just take a picture there. If this doesn't go fast enough, you can hit download and it'll be right there. Does it Chromebook? Dell, it says Dell. So there it is. You see the steps? You go to your home page, you click your name up in the blue bar. So I guess that's on momentum. You click where that little house is. Let's just do it. Let's see what it says. Click the blue bar, click profile, change picture, and then you can upload a picture you already taken. I don't know how to take a picture and stick it on the desktop. Do you? Okay. How about from your email?
Yeah, I think I
I can take a picture of you right now and we can put it in your email. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, but basically when you are,
Those are the things that.
Okay.
That's how you.
well, let's just get you a picture. I think if you go here, there's your name. You see it? You put that. Profile. Okay, that's fine. So you can, just change your picture. And upload a picture. Well, for that then, need to go to Google Images. Just GIMAGES will do. Or Google Images.
Guess I don't do
Okay, go find chicken. I love it, guys. That's what you wanna do.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
So,
You're kidding now. When did he graduate from high school? 78? Oh, no, then he's younger. Why? Does he have an older brother?
Yeah.
Tony DeBoer, does he have an older brother?
Yeah, Tim.
Tim DeBoer.
We're about 7 years old.
But he was in the city, 88, so. I don't know, I can't do it right. He'll be only like 81 or something. They're still younger. But I know that name. I wonder, see, I was here in the late 70s. For several years. I went to high school. We moved from it being Air Force brats near Washington to my dad's hometown, Crab Orchard. Well, maybe I know him from Crab Orchard. That's right in the name. You ever come and get my mama's popcorn balls?
I'm not even long.
I know what I was going to tell you about that. You said something about being from Crab Orchard right around the time you were saying something about school.
What she's talking about, I'm gonna figure this out. I figured it out.
For Halloween, I always wore a graduation gown to hand out when I moved back from Florida.
Yeah.
Wear my master's graduation gown to hand the balls out, to hand the popcorn out. And they said, "What are you?" I said, "I'm a Crab Orchard graduate." Making fun and laughing with ourselves.
We go over.
I love the Orchard, man. Look out the window and see Big Rock. Dad positioned his house so we could do that.
Nobody else.
Well, that's because that company kind of fenced it all off and everything. People are still,
I never went on there.
you're kidding.
I never really wanted to.
Oh,
No, I will never go up Black Mountain because told me.
you will or will not?
No, it's usually not. Weird stuff.
I didn't know about weird stuff on Tuesday nights. What do you mean? Like devil worship stuff? Really?
It's not one of my buddies. Yeah,
That's creepy.
yeah, that's probably good.
I've been there on the weekends. We hike.
It's always Tuesday now.
Okay, I won't go on Tuesday night. Bye, honey. See ya.